Okay, get your phones ready. Just like in every public event, I'm about to be a meme again. Aadujeevitham.
I love it.
Did I say it right? There's another meme coming out. It's an amazing story. I mean, you know it's an amazing story when you get elements of the script and you know how it's going to end, and you're just as shocked as the audience, which explains why it was one of the highest rated films on Netflix.
Welcome to Spotlight with Tina. I'm your host, Tina George, an international runway model and a film professional. Here to bring you insightful conversations with masterminds in the film and fashion world. Are you ready? Lights, camera, and...
Of course, action. What else would it be?
Well, there's been a lot of action around lately. Rik Aby, you are everywhere in the UAE. The Goatlife?
Yup. The Goatlife, a lot of strife. No, I'm kidding. Really, really grateful and just humbled with the reaction of it. I mean, it took a great chunk of all of our lives. We've put it all on the line, and it's really amazing that we're seeing the fruits of our labor.
It's worked out. Now, remind me again, when did you start filming exactly?
Well, this goes out to Ivor Gracias. He came to me with a script. You know, Ivor is a well-known producer and casting director. And he came to me with a script because I was really stubborn and I wouldn't get a 9-to-5 job. So he's like, all right, here's a script.
Life of freelancers.
Exactly. So here's a script that's going to change your life. So once we got the nitty-gritty out of the way, that was around 2016. And I met with Blessy and the producers, Vivek, and then his friend Biju was there. And also Ursula was there, and Vatkar, she was there with us as well. We did our audition and everything, and then after all of that, you know, we signed our contract. I read the script, and regardless of what anyone says, it has to be hands down one of the most beautiful scripts I have ever read. It has everything. It has drama, it has suspense, it has fantasy, it has romance. It even has, you know, a slight bit of humor and a lot of philosophy. I'm like, you know, this is the total package. Why don't they do scripts like this anymore? You know?
It was based on a book.
It was, yes.
By Benjamin.
Yes, by Benjamin. And a lot of people don't know this, but in case they don't, I need to put this out there. The screenplay was actually adapted from Benjamin's novel by Blessy himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it took 16 years to get all of it made.
16 years?
16 years. We are the embodiment of quality takes time.
Okay, we're going to get through this. We're going to get there at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Even at the end of the day, 16 years later.
By hook or by crook.
Amazing. 16 years to come up with a screenplay. Is that right?
16 years to bring it all together. I was with them for 7 or 8 years. We signed the contract 2017. We only started shooting. I set foot in Queen Alia Airport in Amman, Jordan, on March, I believe. No, it was February 2019.
I remember talking just a bit later, we were chatting, and you were actually stuck there for a while.
Yeah,
right? That was just before COVID.
Yes. I was there in Jordan for 5 months. Now, funny enough, if I can just go back a little bit in time. So I did one of the first co-productions while I was in university. I was an actor, producer. And I wrote this one concept that helped showcase a lot of the regions and a lot of the culture in the Arab world while I was still a junior, third year in university. Now, one of my dreams and one of my locations was to go to Jordan. I said, I don't know how, and I missed out because of visa complications. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I was going to go to Jordan. And so that dream came full circle, 2019, when we set foot there in Queen Alia Airport. Now, also because of a rigorous shooting schedule, and I mean rigorous, right? Misfits fell into my lap. Rennie Harlan's Misfits, you know, produced by Kais Kandil.
You were a cop in that one.
Yes, jail warden. Yes, alongside Pierce Brosnan, Academy Award winner Tim Roth, and Nick Cannon, Jamie Chung, all these wonderful people representing the UAE in one of the first biggest home productions. It's the first time of its kind. It's never been done before in the region. Now, during that time, I was still on Goatlife, but I needed to leave, even if it was just that one weekend. So all the kitchen scenes were shot in one day. Thursday was fitting. Next day we shot. I got access to the script because of lack of paper in the desert camp. Only the same day I had to go for fitting back in Abu Dhabi. So it's 4 hours from Rum, Wadi Rum, which is next to Petra, to Queen Alia. That's 4 hours. And that's another 4 hours from Amman, Jordan, to Abu Dhabi, UAE. So I had 8 hours to memorize my lines and my first, supporting role representing the community.
Wow.
And Dar Zayed. 8 hours. I was so petrified, I memorized the whole damn thing. So that
everybody's
was...
lines. Everybody's lines.
I know the film from top to bottom, page to cover.
Malayalam as well.
That's another story. Well, I'm getting to that. So 2020, now back to your point. So that's 5 months. And I felt really bad in 2019 because, of a regular schedule, we didn't get a chance to have any time off. When we did, we just went to Al Aqaba, right? But it was sun up till sundown, really challenging weather situations. It was really, really cold and, they had to cheat it that we were in the desert.
For how long?
2019, 2020, 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, when we went there, I knew there was something amiss. I only got a one-way. I got a one-way ticket, so I prepared myself mentally that things could go wrong, and we were going to be stuck, and stuck we were. But in 2019, I kind of missed out on seeing the rest of Jordan. 2020, I got my wish.
You were stuck.
Yeah, I did some time in Amman, 7-star hotel. No one can hate that.
Be careful what you wish for.
I know, exactly, right? Okay, so manifesting, right? So we went to the Dead Sea, and then from the Dead Sea, we went to Amman. That's another 2 weeks. And then after that, back to Rum. And we didn't stop there, because right after we were done shooting, we went to the city where it was, the contagion happened in Jordan.
Amazing.
which was in Irbid.
Of course, you must go there.
You got to love it. You got to love the food. You got to love the people. And so I got a chance to see more of Jordan than I bargained for, and had my visa application not come through, I probably would have went to one of the most greenest places on that side of Jordan, which was Ajloon. But then I didn't. So, and here we are. Not that I'm complaining, because I had 5 months.
You just asked to see Jordan, and you have. You also asked to be in a blockbuster movie, and you are.
Yes.
Did you shoot in India as well, or was it just
I would have
Jordan?
wanted to,
Yeah.
but there's a funny story about India. So the rules are kind of strict when you're moving animals into India. They need to get their permits. They might as well just fly them business class, right? Right?
The Goatlife. Well,
I know,
the
literally,
Goatlife
it's
too.
like, yeah, well, we're the stars of this film, so yeah, obviously we're going to get business
named
class, and
after us.
there you go. Where PJ's at? We're the private jets.
Yes.
We're the Goatlife. We are this movie, whether it's Goat Days in the novel or Goatlife. We brought you to the table, and we're not leaving. So they expected to be treated that way, and they were. So, but for some reason, I guess they couldn't get in, and I had to wait for my visa, just like the goats were waiting for their visa. Right? And I told Mom, Ma, don't take this the wrong way, but I swear to God, if they get in before I do, I'm going to have a problem with that.
Tell me about your experience of working in the Indian film industry. It was the first time you were working?
It wasn't my first time. My first time would probably be Saaho. It was cast by Alex G, and it was Sunjit's film. Mm-hmm. And it really taught me about one of the many aspects of the Indian film industry, things that I've never known before, such as the level of proficiency. Even the professionals working on Indian film sets are professionals from all over the world, even Hollywood. I mean, I met Michael Bay's stunt director there, and he was the guy who was directing me in that scene, if you've watched Saaho, where I played Captain James Folk. And, I built a character for him and everything. And so that was just a huge eye opener for me. I never knew how big it was. Of course, I knew,
it's different when you're in it and you see
exactly
these,
one
yeah,
of the
I
first
get it.
one of the first 3 countries to have 100 years experience ahead of the rest of the world were the Tunisians, respectively, and the Egyptians and the Indians. So all 3 countries have 100 years of cinema ahead of the rest of the world. So I'm definitely going to be introduced to something that I've never seen before. And just as they have 100 years of experience, it makes perfect sense for them to attract people with a lot less experience and other industries from all over the world. So yeah, they're going to get, Michael Bay stunt director. Yeah, they're going to get these guys from South Africa. Yeah, they're going to get people from
Iron
Poland.
filings to a magnet, really.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Absolutely.
And so that was cool. And then, at an after party, I saw my stunt double, who also worked on Michael Bay's film, which was Six Underground, also shot in Abu Dhabi. So
Yes.
I saw my stunt double, right? Morgan Katkuti, and from Malta, shout out, right? Thanks for saving my life.
Thanks for being me.
Seriously, right? And, we had Kenny Bates. And I saw him there. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, didn't you forget? Like, I told you, I worked with Michael. I've been working with Michael for more than 12 years. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then it just registered. So then from Saaho, we jump into Chornikal Kebaga. And I'm probably butchering it.
Say it again.
Chornikal Kebaga. So the deeper I go, the more I sound like I know what I'm talking about when I know I've just butchered.
Yeah, probably.
I've butchered.
I'm probably
120.
I'm probably the worst person to even judge that.
So you're a burger. All right, okay. Yeah, I know what time it is. So yeah, shout out to Ajay Singh, the director. Chornikal Kebaga with Sunny Kaushal and Yami Gautam, which is an extraordinary film that you really need to watch. Not because I'm plugging
Because
it, but
you're in it.
No,
Because
not because
no,
it's an
I'm
amazing story. I mean, it's an amazing story when you get elements of the script and you know how it's going to end, and you're just as shocked as the audience, which explains why it was one of the highest rated films on Netflix in India and many places around the world, including the UAE, and number 2 on Netflix platforms all over the world. Wow. So those were my 2 introductions into the Indian film industry. And then, of course, the lovely South, Kochi. Yes. Oh, God. Okay, get your phones ready. Just like in every public event, I'm about to be a meme again. Aadujeevitham.
I love it.
Did I say it right? No.
I think it's slower. I think it's
Okay.
Aadujeevitham.
Aadujeevitham. See? There's another meme coming out. Not like there's enough.
No, you did a
memes
good
to
job.
get.
You did a good job.
One can
it was
only
my
hope.
mission to make you to say it.
All right, wonderful. Because every
Just
single
keep
time
that
I
off.
came on a public platform, people were on the floor laughing. So I guess they were laughing with me, not at me. At least I hope.
No, they are just amused by your interest to get it right. And I think the second version was right. We're going to use that in the promo.
Thank God.
So the Malayalam film industry is probably very different to the Bollywood film industry. And
120.
very different to the UAE film industry.
120.
Like, what would you say are the differences?
I would say 2 things. They have the concept of community, and that concept is very close to my heart. And what I mean by community, and I keep saying this, they have the longest roll of credits you'll ever see, because you'll have the main people, above the line, below the line, and then everybody else in the industry with a lot of things. So everybody's supportive of everybody, and they support everyone's film as if it was their own. And that's why they're so good. Also, another thing I realized is they have a niche for their stories. There's a lot of movies that are centered around their culture, their environment, their background, and they stay very true to their roots. They stay very true to who they are, and that is, worked out really well for them. And it's made echoes and ripples and tidal waves around the world. And also what I love about the Malayalam film industry is that you have people that are naturally good at what they do. And it's not just naturally good at what they do. They're all natural looking people. It could be your next door neighbor. It could be, not just the model that's, working out in the gym. These are everyday people we can relate to. And the number one rule, at least to me, when it comes to telling stories is relatability and empathy. And the Malayalam film industry, with their storytelling prowess, nailed it just like that.
I mean, in one film, you actually encapsulated what the Malayalam film industry is about. Honestly, it is one of the industries that is that's looked up to, because you're right, it's very simple. They tell the stories as it is, but there is no fluff.
At all.
And it's so relatable. And I think that's why if you might watch more Malayalam movies now.
I did watch a film that was recommended to me by the Malayali journalist Rik Aby, which is like, the South's Oprah, at least to me. And, she's amazing. Not just a film critic, not just a journalist, but just an auteur of cinema. And that's one thing that I also realized. Everyone's an auteur. They know cinema. The fans are hardcore fans.
Yes, there's no middle ground.
There's no middle ground, and you love it. So
and they have camps.
Exactly.
You heard about the camps?
Well, I heard about the armies. I realized that, whenever, someone comes up that they really enjoy, they don't call them fan clubs. They call them, armies. So that just shows how passionate they are, and wear their heart on their sleeves with, blood trailing down kind of passion.
Oh, it's serious.
Yes, it
Very
is.
serious.
And you don't find that anywhere. And the fans themselves will educate you, and you can have a lot of meaningful conversations. I used to make a joke about, the Malayalam film industry, and I used to say, what? How can they come up with so many films? Most probably what they do is they start a film, and then, once a director, is on a film and he's ready to go on another one, so he'll send a unit director. Usually unit directors are on different locations, right, and do pickup shots of the same film, not other films. That's not far from the truth. Because even while we were shooting, Prithvi Raj was having his first directorial debut in Lucifer, and he was he set up a tent where he was editing his film and still being Najib. Who does that?
Prithvi Raj, apparently.
King of the Earth, right? That's what his name means. That's what I was told. And yeah, it's not a moniker. It's lifestyle.
So Prithvi Raj has a huge fan. Like, my mom's a big fan of Prithvi Raj.
So she's a member of the army.
Yeah, well, yes. She may be leading that army. We're not sure, right?
All right, we'll find out.
You, Rik Aby, were just a little bit mean to him in the movie. I mean, weren't you scared the army's going to come after you for that?
Well, he had it coming. Do I sound like a villain? He
You
had it
do.
coming. Well,
Why were you so mean?
I have the community to thank for that, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all. So that was actually the preview that ended up making it to Netflix.
Yes.
Exactly. That was shot in 2019. Okay. And that was my first day on set. And, it's like the Olympics. You're with the world's best, right? One of the oldest film industries in the world. So you got the whole community, telling you, all right, you know what, you got this. Don't let us down. So I'm outside of the small pool that is the UAE community, and now I'm swimming in the big sea, right, with tidal waves in the form of all these big stars. So I'm lactose intolerant, okay? If you've seen the preview, you wouldn't think I am. So at this point, if they tell you to drink milk from a cow's udder, you would, because you're representing all these people. And so 1 take, 2 takes, 3 takes, the guy who's lactose intolerant had almost half a liter of milk coming out from his throat to his mouth.
Oh my God.
And my eyes were rolling to the back of my skull, and one of the wardrobe assistants was Manuel, just jumped on and said, "Cut." It's like, "Rick, you okay?" I'm like, I'm good. Just don't embarrass me. I got this. Because, I have a reputation in the UAE and with a lot of people that have worked with me.
What was it, that was causing this many takes?
What was causing a lot of takes is the milk. I'm lactose intolerant. So I'm trying to maintain my bearings. I know the lines, but I don't want to embarrass myself. And the more milk I'm drinking, the more I'm just fading away. And then it just reached a point where my body's like, you know what? The buck stops here, buddy. We're not doing this. Okay, so milk is just coming out of my mouth, and I'm about to pass out. cut? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm okay. Like, no, get off the set. Like, damn it, I embarrassed myself. So I got out, I threw up, took a booster shot, and on my way back from the medic's tent, I'm angry that I've let down my community. I've let down everybody that has supported me. I've let down all of you. And I was so angry and embarrassed at myself that I took it out on the Jeep.
Poor guy. He just wanted to understand where he was and what was happening.
I know, but hey, I guess he...
You drank all the goat
Yeah,
milk.
but there you go. Yeah, I mean, he caught me on my bad day. You don't mess with my milk,
Have you thought about oat milk?
I didn't think
The
about
Oatlife,
anything.
the Oatlife for
The
you.
Oatlife, I know, right? I had something to prove. Everybody heard about this person. The only person that knew really about me was the director, so it was time to put up or shut up. Like I said,
You gave it all.
yeah, I would jump in head first into a silo of milk if it meant that I needed to represent the community and prove that I deserved a seat at that table.
Phenomenal.
I guess it worked out.
It worked out, but I wouldn't want to see you in that position again.
Me neither, trust me. I don't think body can handle that anymore.
You're shooting in the summer in Jordan. What's the weather like?
No, it wasn't, but we cheated it to look like the summer. It was winter.
Okay.
It was cold.
So you were not battling the heat. You had another element. to
No,
battle.
we were battling almost pneumonia. It was cold.
Wow.
It was nail-bitingly cold. Nail-bitingly cold to the point that my skin lit up, like I said before, like a Christmas tree, and I looked like a wino, right? So we have this, Turkish blood, and so it just kind of comes out, right? The ends justify the means, right? Right? So all this, I got these red splotches on my face, right? So it's like red cheeks, red nose, like you don't look like you live in a desert.
You look too healthy.
Let's darken him up. And that's what they did. So they darkened me up, they dyed my beard, and we had to, there was wind, but you can have wind, when temperatures drop during the summer. It's very common in that part of the world, right? But no, they definitely had to darken us, and it was really, really cold. We would start at temperatures from 16 degrees in the morning until 0 degrees at night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cold.
And what would you say is one thing that you learned from this experience?
The preview scene was not a coincidence that I was there during that time, thinking about the community the whole time, and the community and what they thought of me drove me to give the performance that I did. Had I not been that connected or caring about the community and how I would represent them, probably it might not have come out as passionate. So that's one thing I learned.
But you've always been an actor. You've always known this is what you want to do.
Yes, for the most part.
Tell me briefly about your journey into this. How did you
Okay,
get into
so
this?
if you speak to my mom, she'll tell you that I learned how to walk and talk 9 months, at 9 months earlier than any other baby, and I haven't stopped talking since. Now, the only difference is I get paid for it. A friend of mine told me, Dr. Khalid al-Yapuni of Vahri, he told me, listen, you might as well just do acting. I mean, don't think you're be fit for anything else.
How old were you then?
In high school, I believe
school.
I was, because I stayed a while in high school. I think I wanted to get a PhD in high school, right?
You just love the drama.
On the set and off the set, yeah. I think I was late teens, maybe.
You knew this was your path from a very young
I
age.
honestly, I mean, I have 2 A levels in art and design. I knew I wanted to be an animator, but I knew I wanted to entertain people, but I just didn't see it. My classmates did, especially that I used to do imitations of people. Like one time I recorded the voice of our biology teacher who was tutoring one of her friends. And so he hears his voice and he just freezes up. So it was like that. Like I could,
that good.
yeah, I would imitate someone's voice and then, people would just turn around and think like it was an administrator or something. And then from there, after my, being a class clown in my tomfoolery, I went to university, and no coincidence, the first time they taught filmmaking was at the American University of Sharjah in 2002, and from then until 2007, I averaged more than 50 films a semester, back to back. And
you found your place.
I fell in love with it, and to this day, I keep telling people, what's the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning and the last thing you think about before you go to sleep, and that's what you should be doing. And whenever you hear about this thing, you fall in love with it every single time, and that's what acting is to me.
So you grew up here? You are from the UAE? Or
Yes.
you?
And I've been living in the UAE proudly, in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, what?
Yes.
Okay. 9712,
I love
where
Abu
you
Dhabi.
at? I know, right? Cornish Hospital born, representing.
Oh, you are?
Who isn't? It's Abu Dhabi. Who isn't?
Exactly. Everyone
Right?
I meet is born in Cornish Hospital. Here
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So you got the Cornish Hospital, and then you got Sheraton. So I keep telling people, like, okay, so here's where the babies are born, and then the hotel's where they make the baby. Right? So I've been living there for 44 years.
So you've been living in the UAE
For 44 years.
44 years,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and represent the UAE everywhere I go on international productions, not just Mollywood, not just Bollywood, Hollywood, and other industries as well. And it's just been overwhelmingly humbling.
What is your dream? Like, what do you want to do next?
I mean, every person that does this would be lying if they said they didn't want to get anything in the form of international awards. I definitely want to be the first person representing the UAE and Sudan and bringing, as I said before, the big one, the Oscar home where it belongs. It's about damn time, I think, right? And making history for us, for our community, and for everyone around there.
Have you brushed up on your Malayalam at all? Like, you've seen
Well,
more
I tried, but
opportunities
every single time I keep becoming a meme. Give me a break, guys. No,
You
I
speak
love
Arabic,
it.
right?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
It's my mother tongue. Yes,
It's
I
your
speak.
mother tongue.
Well, I speak a lot of
And
different
the
accents.
Arabic dialect you spoke in the movies
Is Najdi? Yeah, it's
Okay.
Najdi. It's Najdi. It's spoken in different parts of the world,
Which is
rather
quite
in the
tough.
Arab world. Yeah, but I
It's
had
your mother tongue.
no, Arabic is, but that particular accent isn't. But you know a little bit of Emirati, right? So the roots are very similar. Plus, also the origins of a lot of the original Bedouin tribes are similar. But I know enough to take some of the nuances and toss them out, and then take what was left of the accent that was spoken in the film, polish it up real nice, and present it as authentically as I hope I could.
Rik, it's been fun having you on Spotlight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for bringing along this amazing trophy.
Yes,
It's got your name on it.
Yes, it does. It's right down
Right
there.
down the
Yeah.
bottom.
Just show it,
Wow,
right?
there we go.
And I want to thank
I should show it
yes,
that way,
and I
actually.
want to thank everyone for this, because when we tell stories, we want to tell them the best way that we can. We want to create empathy as much as we can. As heinous as our characters may be or may not be, it's their decisions and it's their traumas that make them who they are. And the fact that, and I said this before, if you hate my character, I'm going to show you love. But you've shown me more than enough love, and that's why I want to officially say that I'm kicking off the GOAT, as you can see, UAE tour. Everywhere I go, I'll be carrying this bad boy with me, and I'll be posing with pictures for you, and that's just the least thing I could do. And thank you so much for supporting me and supporting everything we do. Thank you. I'm eternally grateful. And this is your trophy. Make no mistake. You brought us to where we are. It's you. Community before industry. You're the roots. You brought us to the table.
Thank you so much, Rik. And we are so proud of you here in the UAE.
Thank you so much.
We wish you more and more success.
Thank you so much.
And looking forward to having you back on the show with
Absolutely.
your new movies and other things
All
you're doing
right.
as well.
And the big one.
Definitely.
And the big one.
And thank you so much for giving me this trophy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not that nice.
No, it's pretty
Well, I
cool.
mean, you can take it, but it just has my name. I mean,